What's up, guys? It's your boy Hip Hop, and I wanted to share this trade. This is on a 50K eval, and this was the one and only trade that I took right as I started the eval. I did some pre-analysis. You can see I have some trend lines there. I have some fib lines, that golden fib line that's going through. And I was looking at these movements here. You can see that there's a trend on these movements where it peaked, dropped, then that second movement peaked, came down. You have this upward wedge or bearish wedge movement where it kind of tanks, bottoms out at a lower resistance level or support level. And then I noticed it was kind of doing the same thing again. So I was trying to test a theory of, I guess, percentages of movement where I tested the very first top of that upward trend on the bottom there before it dropped. Tested the very peak of that top and how far that moved upwards to that very top of the next peak. And I found that the first peak moved right here about 2.5 squares, and then that peak I figured maybe might move about 2.5 squares. So then I used the fixed volume profile, set it up in the range that I was observing, and the volume high kind of lined up with exactly where I drew that purple line. And so it was right around that 2.5 square movement. And so kind of took a bit of a chance testing the theory on this trade, but it was a damn near perfect entry. I put my position in a little lower, just not trusting fully on the purple line, and I should have just put it right at the purple line. You can see me move my buy stop back and forth a few times, trying to protect it. But as this thing kind of rejects and comes back up to finalize its formation, you'll see me move that buy stop again, just trying to give it room to breathe. I originally had it behind a wick on the higher peak on the left. Now that higher peak, what I should have done was shown that this was already on a downtrend. This is on gold futures. And if you look up the date, it's January 7th, you can kind of see where this movement happened. And this also, I'm using this key level indicator, which shows, Asia Open, New York. I generally trade Asian and London times. The words are wrong. I had the times wrong on the indicator, but you can also see me use the liquidity spectrum visualizer as well as the rejection blocks. The liquidity spectrum visualizers by Big Beluga, and taking profits for those rejection blocks, just to kind of confirm, where these order movements are coming in, and if there's a rejection happening on this point. Just trying to gain confluence because I'm, again, testing a theory. And this was a damn near perfect entry had I put my position on the purple line. So the reason I share this is there might be something, just as a theory, but there might be something to be said about that percentages of movement. The same way that the Fibonacci works or something like that, I probably could have put a Fibonacci here and figured out the same thing where each one of these peaks were hitting. But I've never really tried using the squares or rectangles for price measurements in the back as an indicator or some form of measurement, even though they're there. And it worked out really, really well. We get some weird candle movement here. I'm a little uncertain. You can see me put my finger on the button a little bit, getting ready, just because I'm struggling to see that wedge again. And if this video was actually playing live, you could hear me yelling "Pip Pop, purple line of justice" right now. But so I moved that back, give it room to breathe, and almost instantaneously it would have wicked me out. You can see another candle pop up that definitely would have wicked me out. So I'm happy I moved it down, and basically caught this fake out trend break perfectly, and I ran this trade basically all the way back down to the resistance level, the bottom resistance level that I saw. And if I would have opened up this the chart, there's some way lower resistance level. You can see that this thing's trying to come down, so there's definitely a lot more money to be made here. However, it's an eval, it's a 50K eval, and to see this thing kind of work out and almost perfectly reject and then kind of complete, you have this 4-point upward wedge kind of completes right here as it pushes past this red trend line, as it breaks back through and comes right back down to complete that same pattern that had happened on the left with those where it went up 3 times, it went up, made a wedge, came back down, went up, made a wedge, came back down, and does that for a third final time. Now this thing ends up flying down. But still, you know, I played it safely, took a really clean, reliable trade. And as you watch this go down, I start trailing that buy stop down, just securing my profits as this candle closes, or any profit. And as the next candle closes, I'm watching it, trying to figure out the key levels here and trying to hide it behind, you know, just maybe previous candles. But waiting for this thing, giving it room to breathe, but also waiting for this thing to kind of mature and just finalize my confirmation in movement. And you'll see me move it down again. And right as I get to move it down one more time here in a minute, this thing just bottoms out, and it ended up being just about a $1,500 trade with just 2 contracts. So really clean, really fun trade, and I wanted to share that theory with you guys, and it's maybe something that we can continue looking out for. Now, if this was my live account, I definitely probably would have removed that buy limit and just kept trailing this thing, because if you go to this date, you'll see it's January 7th. This thing just kept going, kept going, and so it would have been a really big profitable trade. But again, the eval, don't need that much. Boom, here we are, 1,500 in profit. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and follow for more videos.